The living room, where the family meets to discuss issues, any issue which may be bothering one of the family members. That's what we do each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM with Ricardo Mitchell and DJ Aaron 868. We have casual conversations on serious topics, from sports to culture, mental health to economics, relationships to life lessons. Join us each and every Tuesday on WAC 90.1 FM. The living room, casual conversations on serious topics.
It is now a couple minutes after 6 p.m. here in Trinidad and Tobago. I don't know what time it is where you are, but I'm glad to know you're locked on to the True Nation Station, WACK 90.1 FM, where we are
ultra crazy.
And let's just get right into it. First and foremost, we must give thanks and praises to the Almighty for granting us the gift of life and seeing another day. No matter what time of day it is, you must always
give thanks.
Secondly, we must say thank you to those that went before us, and not just the Tanos and the Carlin Hagos, but also to our brother in music, that is Tony Prescott. And the P this week stands for?
I want to say pothole, I want to say potholes. But what is we seeing? I could use a P that at the end of a word instead of at the beginning of a word.
You do you.
What about landslip?
This is the living room with yours truly, DJ Aaron 868. I'm always great and I'm never late, alongside my bro with no fro,
Ricardo Mitchell, the social stage on the local stage.
And boy, oh boy, do we have a lot to wipe our feet and hang our hat on. So to get the hanging of our hats out the way, I want to give a special shout out to our guest over the last couple of weeks, Kenny Phillips.
Right, yeah, correct.
He has been mentioned in numerous local tabloids. If you don't know what a tabloid is, a newspaper, for the work that he's doing with the Calypso Coliseum as well as the Jamia set, right? I had the privilege this weekend to work two of the Calypso Coliseums and the Jamia set. Watch me. We have real talent out here.
Ping, 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 ping.
Not like that, but yeah, right? Now, for the interesting part, where we wipe our feet. You want to go first, or you're gonna let me go?
Well, I just want to chip in with the hanging hat on the West Indies cricket team for two stellar performances. In the ODIs against England.
It's the T20s, just T20s we played.
Where was he?
ODI.
Oh yeah, sorry, the T20s. Great stuff, guys. Great stuff. And just short of a no call on a white ball, it would have been 2-0. But that's the nature of the game. So congratulations on moving on to where to start wiping feet, Aaron. Where
I don't want to start.
You go ahead and start now. You go ahead and start.
Firstly, in Trinidad and Tobago, we tend to capitalize on a lot of gray areas, right? Recently, I don't know if you all are paying attention to what's taking place at the different restaurants and bar establishments. I am seeing a lot of DJs and artists making guest appearances at these bars. I'm not too sure if that is within the legal parameters, but I think we need to get somebody in to clear that up or find out and get that information onto you. Because I find it getting a little tricky now though. If you could charge admission to a place that you're supposed to go for free, legal?
Well, Aaron is a man who has spent a lot more recent time in event management and planning and so on and so forth and in committees. Brother man, you ought to tell me what falls under a regular restaurant license and what
is a dancehall license.
A dancehall license.
Well, that's the thing. I think next week we need to go a little bit deeper into that, because I don't want to just touch it today and then we leave a lot of questions unanswered. So I think next week we could go a little bit further and see if I get a lawyer brethren.
Or, you know what? I think if we could get a lawyer brethren, somebody who's an entertainment lawyer, if we could get promoters, anybody who have a foot in this particular door now.
Yeah. You wipe now, because I want more to wipe on after.
Yeah, I am. In terms of that, I like clear cut. That's the way I am. I like clear cut. So I totally agree with what you're saying there in terms of I recognize the innovation, eh? Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. And
And
don't get me
I'm
wrong.
happy to see it.
Right? But anyway, I was watching some pictures and videos of the creek, and I got
You
something.
mean the crack?
Listen, I think I'm laughing because I don't know if to cry or cuss. Because Aaron, what are those? What
Cracks?
That is what is happening? The whole
No, I
of
want
Port
to
of
know.
Spain, the whole of Port of Spain built on reclaimed land, right?
Yeah, boy.
And I hear people talking about the cedars take back land, eh? But normally they just wait until they finish building first, right?
Now, well, they couldn't wait. They see where there's to be water, there will be water. Remember that.
Lamar, she is angry.
But boy, you know, the first time I saw the pictures yesterday morning, I was like, is this the creek or the crack?
That was a good one though. Mosquito crack.
Mosquito crack.
Well, I like that.
Yeah,
I like that.
Again better.
Mm-hmm.
But, I just want to know who's going to be held accountable and if more public funds are going to be utilized to repair that, or is it at the cost of the contractor? That's why I want to know.
I hearing things, and all I'm saying is that I'm going to wait until I have more information before I make any declaration.
Next week for them things, you know, when we get more information.
You're correct, is right. Because plain talk, bad manners. We are not civil engineers, and we have not assessed the scenario.
Yeah. My last wipe my feet really quick. Olia, I don't know if there's a stigmatization that goes along with certain areas in this country, but why is it that you could have parties, and I use the term loosely, parties in certain establishments, but when it in certain communities, you're seeing the red squad running in?
That's a real good question too, you know.
I don't understand it, because a party is a party no matter the location.
Not so. In some places, they're private parties, and in other places, there's a zest.
But well, here what's going on. I go and hold a private party by me Saturday night for we to watch the Calypso Coliseum.
Well, you better be streaming it, because I'm not looking for all that action. You're not living in one of them communities where there's let 200 people weddings go on, you know.
No, well, I'm not going to say I could be hosting that private party, but I won't be working Saturday night at the show, so I don't know who hosting that.
I ain't going to happen that at all.
I will host you all virtually with the other 600 guests that have been streaming with us every night.
I like that, man. As we mentioned innovation earlier, I want to take this opportunity to introduce our guest this evening. So much to say about this particular scenario, about this particular project, but it's one that is close to my heart. I have true respect and admiration for the project and for the subject matter.
Well, while you introduce our guest, allow me to go get my guest for today's program.
Well done, sir. Well done.
So take it away.
Oprah C. Francis is the author and illustrator behind the children's book series, The Adventures of Marvin the Mischievous Manicou. Describing herself as a proud patriot of Trinbago Massive, Oprah combined her skills as a communications professional with her passion for local culture to create Marvin's playful adventures as a creative and educational tool to inspire a greater sense of cultural pride and appreciation among children. With passion and determination on her side, she was able to transform her first self-published children's book into a growing brand which now features a line of children's books, apparel, and Marvin's very own website. Through this and future products, Oprah plans to continue her efforts as an advocate for locally inspired literature and products. Look, the man. All right. Well done, sir. Well done, sir. Hey, let me unlock the door, yes?
Welcome to the living room. Welcome to the living room. Welcome to the living room. Welcome to the living room.
So as advertised, we have with us inside the living room this evening, Ms. Oprah Francis. All right. Good evening to you, Oprah.
Good evening.
And I feel like the odd one out of the trio right now because I am the only person that does not have a Marvin, yeah. Right? So just to feel included, because FOMO is real in Trinidad and Tobago, I have Snuggles.
Fear of Manicou out. That's not what that's not what FOMO is.
Oprah,
Anyway.
let's please get down to this because Ricardo will take us down in the bush behind Kumuto, as he usually does. We're gonna kick it off and ask you probably the easiest question you're gonna get today. How are you? Not where's the scene, or where's the scene jelly bean, or what's the just physicist, or what's the word hummingbird? How are you?
I am excellent, and I just want to say a huge thank you for you all contacting me and having me on the show today. It's really, really appreciated, and I'm very excited about this episode, both myself and Marvin.
So just for sake of clarity, Oprah, we are calling yours Marvin. Ricardo?
Well, this is Mani Jew, right? Offspring of Mani Ramjan, Manicou Ramjan anyway, which was the original Marabella Manicou. But cousin and very good friend of Marvin the Mischievous Manicou, right? Plain talk bad manners. Aaron, you had to help me out here. I'm going to go off script. I'm going to go full fanboy mode, right? I am amazed that the same, and here the catcher, the algorithm is a real thing because I posted some of my Manicou adventures. I'll probably share some of these actually, right? And then thanks to I came across Marvin the Mischievous Manicou and the adventures of Marvin the Mischievous Manicou. And I love the idea that there was local representation in the plush action figure collectible market.
So since we got the easiest question out of the way, Oprah, let me ask you probably the most mischievous question that I'm going to ask today.
Yes.
Was Marvin the Mischievous Manicou in any way, form, or fashion inspired by Ricardo's fear of his Manicou, his visitor?
Unfortunately, no. Marvin the Manicou has been around for some time now, and he actually made his public debut in 2019 at the Boca Slit Fest. So Marvin actually started off as a single storybook, and then following that, with all the positive reviews and reception I received from everyone, I said, I need to take this thing a bit further. And now Marvin is basically turning into a brand on his own. So it's a full book series, 2 storybooks, an activity book thus far. There's also the Marvin plushie right here, which is also available on his very own website. And he's now branching out to bring out his own line of apparel as well.
His own website?
Wait. So Marvin is not a one-off.
Marvin is not a one-off at all, no.
Aaron, help me out here.
No, well, I recently followed the Instagram page, and just for the sake of the listeners, please, Oprah, let us know what the Instagram page is.
So Marvin has his own hashtag, it's hashtag Marvin the Manicou, and his Instagram page is marvin.manicou, both Instagram and Facebook. He has a YouTube channel as well.
That's MarvinManicou.
Correct is right.
All right. Ricardo, you don't even have your own YouTube channel yet, I'm sure.
I actually do have a YouTube channel here, and it is where I post my inspirational scripture-based videos. Clearly, we know who's not subscribed and who didn't click the bell.
I actually have subscribed, so just letting you know. But I wanted to let you tell the listeners of your own YouTube page, all right? Anyhow,
That's very generous of you, Ira.
Thank you.
And in
Now-
the interest of that educational opportunity you just put out there, I'm curious. You say there's a adventure, a storybook, an adventure book, right? So this what is it? What is the angle? Is this just entertainment? Is there an educational aspect of it? You know, how did this unfold? You know?
Well, actually, just to take you all back a bit, I always wanted to make a contribution to the local creative industry and local literature as well, because one thing that bothered me growing up would be going to a lot of bookstores and seeing the abundance of foreign content, you know, and I think it's very important. Representation is very important for a child to be able to go into a bookstore, to turn on the television and hear something familiar, or to see someone who looks like them, or just be able to see things that speaks to where they came from as well. So that's where Marvin came up. So Marvin has his own line of storybooks. It's a book series. So far there are 2 storybooks and 1 activity book. And each book strikes the balance between providing educational, raising awareness on local wildlife, a lot of things that persons may not necessarily be aware of, even with the same animals you find in our backyards, as well as providing an opportunity to really share some valuable life lessons with children. Because the books, even though it's exciting and, you know, you have a lot of drama and bacchanal ever so often, because, you know, the animals, even though the book isn't written in regular English, the animals speak in local dialect. So you have plenty, oh gosh, look bacchanal, and all these different kinds of expressions and whatnot featured in the book. The books also strikes a balance with presenting valuable life lessons with children as well. And in the way the animals speak, the places to go, the different types of fruits, even the way they behave is very reflective of Trinidad and Tobago, and even the names of the animals as well. So it also calls attention to who we are as a people, and that is strongly represented and reflected in both stories as well. So it's a balance between, it's really a lot taking place. So it's a balance between culture, it has educational tidbits on local wildlife. It really tries to speak to children in the language they know, in the places they come from as well.
Oh, really nice. And you know, coming out of the past couple of weeks where we had Mr. Phillips as our guest, and we spoke about the focus on the oral tradition of Trinidad and Tobago, it's excellent to hear that we do have a level and degree of written tradition and exposure to our culture as well. So I must applaud you on that, Oprah.
Thank you so much.
You're looking a bit flabbergasted there, Ricardo.
No, my excitement stems from not just being an avid reader, but I don't know if you know this about me, but I have a bit of an imagination.
A bit?
I have a bit of an imagination, right? And I remember my dad had a maxi, a greenback maxi. So I would have walk up on the main road, jump on a maxi and go to Shogunas, to the secondhand bookshop at 10 or 11 years old, traveling by myself, going down in Gulf City, borrowing, renting, exchanging, reading these books. And I don't even think I got exposed to local literature until, what's that?
Now, I have a question there, Ricardo, for you. Back in those days, you know, you're a little aged, you know, or to quote the local parlance, you know, you're well seasoned. It didn't have a used bookstore on Montchagrin Street back in your days?
Yeah, it didn't.
Just checking, but you know, you live for the risk, you live on the edge. So you went to bonus.
Well, again, I adventurous, right? Which is what me and my homie in the corner here have in common. And the thing is, I was allowed to rent books. You could literally go and rent a book for the weekend or for the week and return it after you read it. So I don't know if that's what the bookstore that you're talking about would have allowed. So I didn't even encounter West Indian literature, or worse yet, even Trinidadian literature, until we were doing in secondary school, in which time my imagination had already started developing along more traditional Western lines and, you know, Eurocentric lines. So to be able to not just see literature, local literature, starting to represent our culture, but to see it manifest in terms of being able to literally engage your imagination to become something tangible. And by the way, it's very, very soft. My brother was actually complaining because he fell asleep on it the other day and he didn't realize how comfortable it would have been.
Because he's so comfortable.
And he's adorable too. But the thing is to see that literature is now expanding. This is culture 3D, you know. This is literary culture 3D. So we're starting to lean into things like manufacturing, and this is something serious. This is a big deal. This is a huge deal for me. Of course, I'm a little gobsmacked because this is a big deal.
What was that word you just said?
Gobsmacked.
I think you should put the definition right here.
All right, I will, but I could safely say that it means I'm flabbergasted, or, what would be a local term for when you get, or bazodi? Tutulbe. Right? So this is the thing. This is what culture. This is culture here. This is not a possum. This is a Manicou. This is Marvin the Mischievous Manicou.
And actually, that's one of the reasons why I chose because the book features a lot of other animals that we find in our backyards, you know. And one thing I try my best to do is to call the animals by their local names so that persons would be aware, but also educating them on, okay, so when you hear this animal, you're really referring to this animal. So the tattoo is also known as an armadillo and so forth.
Really?
Yeah. The tattoo and the armadillo, same animal, but just we have our own local name. And this is why I chose Marvin the Manicou as the star of the entire series, because there are a lot of animals you would find locally, but what I thought was interesting is the fact that we had our own local name for the Manicou, you know, because around the world he's known as an opossum, but down here he's known as a Manicou. And then when you really start to do some research on the animal has a lot of character, a lot of antics, very similar to Trinidadians, to be Trinbagonians, with their many creative ways. So I really thought the idea from the time I selected the Manicou, it really just unfolded from there. But the books also touch on a lot of other local characters. So you have Tamika the Tattoo, you have Kwesi the Quenk, you have Avinash the Agouti. It's just like, yeah, a lot happening in the forest.
So just for the sake of clarity here, it's a lot of alliteration with the names of the characters.
Yeah, so with the names of the characters, I try my best to go with names that persons will be able to identify with, you know. So in terms of that diversity, in terms of the differences in names, and also that familiarity, because a lot of persons know Tamika, a lot of persons know Avinash, a lot of persons know Kwesi, you know. So, and then going along the same comic book lines, you know, you have the double letters and everything like that. So you have Manicou, so you choose a name with M and that kind of thing. So that as well. But yeah, really, I wanted the characters to be so familiar to persons, you know, even the way they behave and everything like that. I wanted someone to be able to pick up these books and say, hey, I know a person like this with that exact same name, you know. I wanted that response to the stories, which I have been receiving thus far. So that's really good.
I have a question, but before I get to that question, I have a statement and a suggestion. How about we go with Aaron the Anteater?
Aaron the Anteater. I like it.
I don't know any quote unquote wild meat characters or any wild animals locally based that are starting with R. So if there is one, Ricardo, the insert name here.
You know, I'm thinking, you know, Cardo the Chupacabra is not a bad it's not a bad way to go. I just realized I said Chupacabra when I meant the capybara, you know. I just called myself a Mexican zombie, you know.
Well, you make sure I leave that in. A special good evening going out to my brethren from Monrepo, better known as the mayor of Monrepo, Jason Gunnis, with that one.
Hey. Wait, I just call myself a Mexican zombie. Anyway, but yes, the capybara, Ricardo the capybara. I in that.
I like the chupacabra better, but we'll
Let,
just
let's let me not. I thought this is a no judge zone, Aaron. It's a no judgment zone.
between you and I, there's always judgment, but for our guests, there's no judgment whatsoever. All right. Now, Oprah, this is something that I want to ask. I know you mentioned the website. Are the books available via the website?
Yes, so the books are available via the website. So just to let you see, this is the first book, which is Far From Home. So you have some characters in this, like Clyde the Blue Crab, you have Monty the Red Howler Monkey, Winifred the Wabina as well. Yes, Winifred the Wabina.
Sorry to laugh, man. Sorry.
What's
Is
wrong
Wabi-
with Winifred the Wabby?
It's Wabi, you know. I thought they were going to say another Winifred watch. we could say Wajang on radio.
Tigress have a song named Wajang, so we could more than say it.
I thought you go to go with Winifred Wajang. I know go to, hey, hello, there's not children's book.
Other people.
Hello, Winifred. Winifred is a very important character in this book. Okay. I will let you know.
So Ricardo, just to say, what I think we should do for our listeners is one day we should have a reading session and read this book to our listeners.
You know, Aaron, that's not a bad idea, you know.
Yeah.
That is not a bad idea. I think we could use our YouTube space and upload some readings of Marvin the Mischievous Mischievous Manicou. I mean,
Definitely.
of course, we'll have to have permission to do so. We ain't
Yeah.
looking for, we upload the thing and then we get a copyright claim.
Well, I was asking and smart there, honestly. But yeah.
My apologies. I so rarely see you doing anything in smart that I didn't recognize it while it was happening. But so, Oprah, the thing is, now we're starting to see Marvin as a reflection of literature, of wildlife, of education, even. So we safe to say that Marvin on his way to becoming a cultural ambassador?
I would definitely say yes, because as I said, Marvin's journey really started as a single storybook, and things just happened to grow from there. But the thing is, with each step I take within his journey, more and more I'm seeing where there are so many gaps, or there are so many, well, not necessarily gaps, but opportunities to do so much more. Because, I mean, no shade towards foreign brands or anything like that, because you have a lot of great content all over the world, and it's good that we are exposed to so much as a people. But I think it's also important to have certain things that we call our own, and I'm a strong believer in innovation as well. So really being able to step out of the box. So even though Marvin started off as a storybook, basically what I'm trying to do right now and what has been happening is that he's developing into a brand of his own and having an identity of his own that persons could really relate to and see and feel and actually interact with. So definitely, and even in terms of really showcasing Trinidad and Tobago, showcasing our culture, because he loves this twin island so much, and he loves to share it on Instagram and talk about it all the time and everything like that. So definitely, yeah, Marvin is heading in that direction, and he's already started to actively make steps in that direction. So follow Marvin on Instagram, check out his stories, join the adventure.
Well, I happened to glimpse that Marvin went to the beach on Sunday.
Oh, he couldn't wait.
Did he get a beacon shark?
No. He was more concerned with running from the waves and building sandcastles and taking selfies. I recently taught him how to use my cell phone. This Manicou, he's not easy, but yeah.
I could safely say, sometimes you get up, you go downstairs, and you have no idea where you're going to see this little critter just make himself comfortable. I've scared several visitors and guests by positioning a Manicou in places that a Manicou would be. Hanging on from the railing, on the back of the couch, that type of thing. I'm just saying, I might be developing an unhealthy relationship with Yeah. I'm just saying, listen, my inner child is very, very satisfied with the acknowledgement that as a child, I could not play with You know what I had as a stuffed child? Him as a stuffed child. What I had as a stuffed toy as a child?
Snuggles.
There were. I had a ladybug. Okay, well, that was an adult. Anyway, but I had. There was koalas. There were kangaroos, rhinoceros, those types of things. But those things aren't Trini. Those things aren't Trini.
Well, Ricardo, it's actually interesting that you said that, because when I initially started with the first storybook, I was doing this for children. And even when I started expanding the brand, my target audience was children locally. But you wouldn't believe, the more I start engaging with persons, be it on social media or when I go to different markets, do readings and everything on the outside, Marvin has literally started to develop a fan base. And a lot of his fans are adults, like
Ricardo.
No, seriously, like people, they're so engrossed in Marvin and they just love the idea. There were a lot of persons who purchased plushies, and it wasn't as gifts for children, but it was literally like for themselves or their fellow friends who are also adults and this kind of thing, because they were just so interested in this 100% local vibe. And then the construction of the products and everything like that, persons of all ages, they really just love Marvin. So from the stuffed toy, his backpack, which is out now, even a lot of adults, they really engage with the stories, and they would recall stories about Wabians growing up or different things with the animals and the beating. It's really a conversation piece, and it's really something I do appreciate, the fact that it's not just children who are gravitating towards the brand, but adults and just anyone, everyone, they really just love Marvin.
So in our local parlance, it's big hardback man and woman that buying Marvin and reading the books.
Persons of all ages, and I love them all. So shout outs to all fans and friends of Marvin watching right now and listening. Like, thank you so much, and you all could expect a lot more coming from this mischievous little Manicou.
Now, as you say, we could expect a lot more. What is there for us to expect?
So, as I mentioned, Marvin is a growing brand, and so far he has 2 storybooks out, and he has his activity book, and he has his backpack and his plushie and his website as well. But as I mentioned, I'm an avid supporter of innovation. So the same way you have brands all over the world expanding, you could expect the same thing from Marvin very soon. So keep your eyes open. You're going to see a lot coming just now.
And what about Irandia Guti and Ricardo the Chupacabra?
Capybara.
It's have Avinash Yaguti already. Avinash already there. And people, we really do love Avinash. But don't worry, Ricardo, I ain't forget you yet.
Ricardo, the next
Ricardo,
book. Chupacabra.
Capybara.
Chupacabra. Chupacabra.
You know what? If you could say Chupacabra 3 times fast, I will keep it. You could call me Cardo. You could call me Cardo the Chupacabra for the next month. 3 times fast.
You sure?
Yeah.
Chupacabra.
I say fast though.
That is fast.
Chupacabra. Yeah, faster than that.
Chupacabra.
Yeah, you know what? It's not happening. So look like Cardo the Capybara, and we
no Chupacabra.
I'll have my people call it people.
Chupacabra.
You're killing me.
I'm his people, so Chupacabra.
Something you said just now, bro, it stuck with me. You see, 100% local manufacturing.
Yes.
So the little tag that says made in Trinidad is made in Trinidad. This is what we say.
Made in Trinidad with love. Yes. Materials purchased in Trinidad. Marvin was constructed in Trinidad. Same thing with his backpack. And that is something. Initially, when I started the brand, these are things you don't really think about on a regular basis. But when you really start to get into the narrative and you really start, your passions really get into it, you realize that there's a bigger movement at play in terms of creating opportunities and really creating something that's local. And for me, your brand needs to be authentic. So as time went along, more and more I try my best for everything to be 100% local. So it's not only in terms of, okay, there's a stuffed toy who's called a Manicou and a stuffed toy that looks like a Manicou. I'm really trying as much as I can and as much as it's within my control and within my reach to allow everything to remain 100% local. So local manufacturing, sourcing local materials, local persons involved and everything like that. Local accents as much as possible, 100% local.
And I'm going to say, and that is a relief to hear, because we all know how much our economy needs stimulating. And happy to know that you are contributing towards that stimulation of our economy.
Yeah, indeed. And I think and I would like to encourage any person who's interested in getting into anything like this to really try to adopt the same approach as much as you can as well. And just to say, I mean, compared to when I was much younger to now, there are a lot of persons who are making the effort to really dive into local literature for children and bring out local products for children. But as much as possible, when you really take a look at what's taking place all around you right now, it's an opportunity. You know, you could either look at the glass as half empty or half full, but it's an opportunity to do so much more, to really build opportunities and make something that's 100% our own and something we all could be proud of, you know? So yeah.
I remember doing a reading for Read to Me TNT, and I was amazed at how much local literature there is. But the problem is you get to, you know what? Let me say it how it is. Local bookstores are not carrying local books. And the saying, it's because people don't want to buy them.
Well, Ricardo, I just want to mention one thing there. I mean, because at the start of this journey, I had the exact same mindset as well. But since starting this journey to now, I would say that a lot of bookstores, and not just bookstores, but stores in general, have started to make the move towards trying to take a more local approach, because Marvin's books are featured in a lot of local bookstores. So shout out to Paper Base, shout out to Scribbles and Quills, because these are stores who, like, they hardcore down for the local, you know, and they try their best to feature these local authors and really give us an opportunity to shine. And when you go to these stores, you would see Marvin's products there as well. Excellent stores as well. They have a local book section, and a lot of people don't even know that.
This is news to me.
Thank you. Thank you for that.
If you persons go online to shop there, you know, they buy their stuff for their homes and everything like that, but they actually do carry local books, and you will find all Marvin's books at excellent stores. So shout out to excellent stores as well.
You know what? After this interview tonight, I am heading to excellent stores. I think the branch in South is at C3.
The last I remember about excellent stores was when it was on the promenade at the top of the top of the. I just saying Iran.
That how old it is, but it's cool. All right.
This is no longer premature.
But there are outlets. There are outlets across Trinidad and Tobago, and a lot of persons stores. As I said, some are bookstores, some are booksellers, or even persons with their own websites as well, really trying to carry local children's products and local children's books, and really trying to create different platforms for authors to be heard and be showcased. So shout out to all those avenues. But Marvin as well, you could also get all his apparel and merch on his website, marvinthemanicou.com. So you could visit the stores, or you could go directly online, and delivery is facilitated nationwide.
Well, I look into head, as I say, I look into head to excellent stores there to go and take a picture to endorse and show people that Marvin the Manicou is available there.
Yeah, my whole thing is that we cannot be on the only 100% total local radio station in Trinidad and Tobago and not support total local businesses.
So if you see me in excellent stores and I ask you to take a picture of me and Marvin, don't run away. Right? This is purely for promotional purposes. All right.
So that also means, Aaron, no judging me for putting up pictures with mine. That's what you're saying?
Again, judgment runs between you and I, Ricardo. We leave our guests out of this.
But Oprah, you might be the only person who could answer this question for me. How receptive have people been to a Manicou? I mean, a Manicou, you know. I mean, a Manicou. How receptive have they been to a Manicou versus, you know, let's say more
Snuggles?
traditionally. Yeah, that what was that? A walrus pup or something? What is that?
I don't know, but it's cute. I like it.
Well, actually, persons, when they encounter Marvin for the first time, a lot of persons are simply just blown away, you know, because it's so local. And the thing is, when you see a Manicou in the wild, the way some persons may encounter a Manicou, you
Like
don't
Ricardo.
a lot. The first thing that comes to your mind may not necessarily be cute, but Marvin is really a very cute Manicou. You see, he has his little fingers, just like the real animal, his little nose, his long tail, and everything as well.
Yeah, so hold them up properly so we can see the tail now.
Yeah, Marvin has a long prehensile tail, you know.
A long what?
A long prehensile tail. So basically, it's a tail that a lot of animals have when the tail is very strong and they're able to use it like an extra limb.
Like an appendage.
Mm-hmm. So
it's good for balance.
So monkeys would use their tails to swing. Marvin would also use his tail to pull leaves and that kind of thing in the wild. So yeah, and facts like that you would also find in the activity book, which I think a lot of people not aware of, you know. So
I'm learning a lot. Now, this has to be said. There, Trinidad and Tobago. Hunting season is hunting season. There is no need to be killing our wildlife outside of that season. As a matter of fact, there's no need to be killing them, period.
Is there a preservation angle to this in terms of I just saying what yes, you went into this thinking this is what I want to do. Have there been avenues and opportunities for advocacy that came up that you didn't exactly sign up for, but that's why you end up anyway?
I'm seeing opportunities like that arising now because it's like you're falling deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole. Me myself, I'm learning a lot as I go along because even when I started writing the books, I thought I knew a lot about local wildlife, but I really did not. So it's when you do research and everything to be able to translate these messages for young children, you get to learn so much and appreciate so much more yourself as well. And with Marvin's story, not just his story, but just in terms of promoting the brand in general, it's a means of being able to push a different angle in the general narrative about our wildlife. Because a lot of the times when persons encounter the books for the first time on Marvin, for the first time, or some of the animals for the first time, the first thing they say is wild meat. And they start to make all these comments and jokes about wild meat. And I think it's important to note that because it shows that that's the only association persons have with our animals, you know? You see a local animal that needs to be in a pot. That animal doesn't only belong in a pot, you know? There's so much more to our animals and our wildlife, and I think it's an opportunity to get persons to appreciate what we have as well. So it's not to say that I'm condemning wild meat or anything of the sort, but there's so much more to our wildlife that I think persons may not necessarily be aware of, and it's an opportunity to really raise awareness about some of those issues and really allow kids to see these animals in a different light, you know? So it's not just about wild meat, you know? There's so much more you could see to these animals, so much more you could use them for, because we have all these different other animals, and they have the brands of their own that are foreign and everything like that, and you know, but I think it's about time we are able to do things like that locally, and that's what Marvin is trying to do as well.
Go ahead, Ricardo. You got it.
Yeah, I just want to acknowledge Create Me. I am truly grateful for your introducing a space where we could start to recognize these beautiful creatures as part of an ecosystem, as you know, having communities and environments of their own that they're entitled to, And you know, believe it or not, the first Manicou encounter I had, well, at least up close. I mean, like up close. I was amazed because yes, you know, he bare his little teeth the first time, and I was like, yo, I mean, dude, you're in my yard though. And then as you know, he scurried along the wall and then up the pole and onto the neighbor's roof. I'm thinking, well, that is a very nimble little creature. And you know, the fur was this nice color and texture. Like I say texture, I can
And I'm
say
gonna
what it
say-
looked like, it feel like.
And I'm gonna say
Right.
you touch it.
If I could have, I would have, because it's not like it carry rabies or anything like that. Right? Believe it or not, they don't carry rabies. They actually kill and eat a lot of ticks and pests and that type of thing. They are very good for insect and pest control in the area, right?
Mhm.
And so I'm looking at this little creature and I was like, this little button nose, and you know, the eyes, they're so intense, but it was also so like startled. I was in its space, and I actually felt like I connected with this thing as a living sentient being. It was aware of me being around. And look, Aaron is you're crying there? Or you have that moment?
I'm laughing because again, you know, we speak outside of this program, right?
I will post the videos. I will post the videos.
No, I have to clear this up for the listeners. Ricardo was worried, or I shouldn't say worried. He was trying to negotiate who should break the eye contact first between him and the Manicou. So when the eye make four, as we say, he wanted to know who was supposed to look away first. Was it him or the Manicou? Because he wanted to remain in control in the situation.
Yeah,
And thought that if the Manicou
Wow.
admittedly, I looked away first. I don't think I ever really regained control over that relationship. I looked away first because its gaze was so intense, you know, but there was so much compassion in the eyes as well too. I think it understood, you know what, he don't normally be in these parts this hour. I go allow him. At least that's how I interpret it.
So basically you was on the Manicou tooth.
He was the captain now.
Insert the meme, right?
But honestly, it was a very interesting experience, and I am not like this big animal lover and this huge running around just trying to save every creature I see. But now I feel more responsibility because I'm starting to care more.
Mm-hmm.
Right? This is not just look at this big hardback man with a plush action figure collectible, but this is representative of elements of our culture that we see in a very one-sided manner.
Mm-hmm.
Is indicative of the innovation of, you know, young entrepreneurship, is indicative of the potential for our manufacturing and shipping and trading. Have you sold any of these outside? As in anybody outside of Trinidad order any yet?
It's something I'm looking into now in terms of establishing that channel up the region and also in other jurisdictions as well. So another thing you all could look forward to with Marvin, because a lot of persons who purchase Marvin over the holidays, they purchase Marvin to send for their families abroad, because, you know, you have a lot of West Indians living abroad who are trying to remain close to home. So they're looking for these kinds of things, you know, so that's very important as well in terms of being able to maintain our culture and export our culture as well.
So just to say it out there, Ingrid, Dr.
Mhm.
Cheese, Dancer Boy,
Madman.
Wendell, Madman, the entire foreign crew that's locked on right now to WAC 90.1 FM. Where you heading to buy Marvin the Manicou?
You could get Marvin the Manicou. All Marvin's merch is available on his website, marvinthemanicou.com. His books are also available on Amazon, so you could just search The Adventures of Marvin the Mischievous Manicou. And for persons wishing to purchase locally, you could check Marvin's website, as well as bookstores across Trinidad and Tobago, including RIK, Excellent Stores, Paper Base, Scribbles and Quills, Caribbean Baby Products as well. Their website also carries Marvin's books.
I just feeling real, like FOMO is real. I need to get Marvin.
You need to get a Marvin here, right? And I'm warning you, if you buy a bag before me, keep your eye on your bag, eh?
Brother man,
I'm just telling you.
just letting you know, if you happen to find out where I live in these COVIDious times and come from my bag, that is the start of a war.
All eyes.
Marvin the Manicou backpack on marvinthemanicou.com. marvinthemanicou.com.
I just love how Oprah is staying out of all of this bacchanal. I just love that.
She have enough mischief on her hands already with Marvin. So I'm truly grateful for you for stepping out like this, for taking the time to share with us. I'm truly grateful to WAC 90.1 FM, where we are culture crazy, for acknowledging that it's perfectly normal for these big hardback men to sit on with stuffed toys, as some people call them, representing our culture. Because it can't be culture crazy and doing the same thing the same way all the time. It's nothing crazy about that. The crazy part is that this is what our culture also looks like. It's not just a headpiece, it's not just a costume, it's not just a fancy suit for a kaiso competition. Our culture is our environment, our culture is our business, our culture is our representation, our culture is our imagination. And so I want to, on behalf of the living room, I want to thank you, Oprah and Marvin, for lighting this particular fire.
Ricardo, thank you so much. That means so much. It's really, truly appreciated.
Mr. Let's clap.
Wait.
My struggles clap. No, but really, thank you very, very much, Oprah, for the work that you continue to do to bring a written tradition to the culture of Trinidad and Tobago. Because again, after we talked to Kenny for like 5 hours, because he's real talk.
Hey, Kenny could talk, baby.
Yeah, boy.
He could talk sense too, but
he ain't too sure about that, but he liked the sound of his own voice. We know that.
That's the best reason to have a radio station here.
Right? Finding out that we have written tradition about the wildlife of Trinidad and Tobago. It's excellent to know.
Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, for me, as I say, it's not just that it's written, but you see this expression, you see this.
Marvin could do a backflip.
Marvin could do anything he put his mind to, and he has really good balance because of the tail.
What? You hear Marvin hit the mic, right?
Yeah. I might edit that out. I might leave it in.
No. Yeah. You know what? in the sake of the Olympics, you know what we'll give Marvin for that backflip?
Hey. That's what we talk. I told you, nimble and athletic creatures.
Hey.
I'm sure Oprah didn't know what she signed up for tonight.
I really appreciate you coming on to have this conversation with us, and what I believe will be a series of conversations, because I'm a fan. I'm more than a fan. I believe in what it is you're doing. I'm not just entertained by it. I'm not just looking at the outcome. I'm very interested in the process that you'll be going through going forward, because I really believe this has the potential to become a thing. I mean, a thing, literally. You are head first in this particular market, and that means it will be you will be a market leader, and you will be a trendsetter, and anybody who commit anything after this will have to look at your model and your pattern. So this is also about, you could be this could be the type of project that the government leaning into and asking, how can we turn this into? Trinidad and Tobago is more than just the red, the white, and the black, or the ketchup and the mustard. Trinidad and Tobago is about what our people do to continue to express themselves. And I want to thank you and Marvin for that.
Clearly, you have court clothes.
For what? For ketchup and mustard? What's wrong with condiments, Aaron? What's wrong with condiments?
Well, Ricardo, Aaron, thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me on this program, and really thank you so much for your support of Marvin and his endeavors and his many adventures. And as I said, you all could see a lot coming from Marvin very soon. So follow him on Instagram, join the adventure. And as I said, you're interested in getting your Marvin merch, visit marvinthemanicu.com.
Now, and Ricardo and I are very serious about doing the reading of the book. So we will be reaching out to you subsequent to today's show to make arrangements to do that. And yeah.
I look forward to it.
I love nothing better than the idea of narrating a local story for kids. Make sure and get your voices intact. Aaron, you may not know this about me, but my voice is not as well modulated and regulated as you may have become accustomed to. You know, there are inflections and pitches and dips and tones and things. But yeah, I range.
Let me hear the voice of Ricardo, the Chupacabra.
Why are you doing that? It's a capybara, big man.
And you know, what I really want to commend as well is that the fact that Oprah has been such a good sport amidst the peacock parlance that we have been exhibiting here inside the living room.
So thanks for that. And the best part about it is that as we pretty much wrapping up here now, is there any closing remarks, any message you want to send to anyone specifically, to Trinidad and Tobago at large, to Trinis across the world who listening?
I just want to thank everyone who's tuning in right now for sharing on this segment. And to all the friends and fans of Marvin, as I said before, thank you so much, because really trying to carry or create a local brand like this is not always easy, but just having your support is really inspiring, and it really pushes both myself and Marvin to continue going further. So as I mentioned before, if you're interested in joining the movement, follow Marvin the Mischievous on Instagram and Facebook. And if you're interested in his products, be it his local children's book series, the Marvin the Mischievous plushie, which is featuring right now, he also has his local backpack, and a lot of other products are coming soon. Visit marvinthemanicu.com and you could get all his merch right there, delivery available nationwide.
Nice.
Got my hands full with him sometimes.
He really is mischievous, eh?
And so cute.
I don't want to say, you know what's the worrying thing? If I go and get Marvin, now I live alone. If I leave Marvin in my bedroom and come back home and find Marvin downstairs on the couch, all there.
Mischief.
Clearly Marvin the Manicou and Ricardo the Chupacabra are friends.
You know what?
I'm not letting that going on. You have that for the whole month.
You know what, Aaron? Thank you. Thank you for that. Thank you for that. Listen to self. Don't let Marvin distract me. So, Oprah, thanks for joining us in the living room. This is yours truly, Ricardo Mitchell, the social stage and the local stage. Guys, the hourglass is opaque. We don't know how much time remains. Whatever you're doing, be good and stay safe. Aaron?
This is yours truly, DJ Aaron 868. I'm always great and I am never late, reminding you that love is the currency, so spend some today. In the vein of tonight's conversation, I have a very special song that we're going to feature to end tonight's program with. Miss Print from Pink Panther, and you can catch me again on Saturday night. Saturday afternoon inside Sweet Soca Saturdays from 2 to 6 p.m. This Saturday, we will be paying tribute to Michael Osuna, better known as Sugar Adams. Keep it locked. The big band is up next. Everybody wave goodbye, all 6 of us.
Aaron, that thing has no hands.
Hey.
cost me one set of dollars. And you know them crooks make one set of errors. To get school books, you talk about horrors. And you know them crooks make one set of errors. Errors in the back, errors in the front. Them people so slack, they print where they want. And to paid me before I take a hint. I went and get them make eyes so they print. I say it a bacchanal everywhere. They put this no carnival this year. I say that they trying to create safe zones. They say they pulling Californian stones. I say Mr. Brown is an Anglican. They put out, they lock down the Pelican. But cross my heart, I never say so. They misprint me call it so. Raga soca mixed up with the calypso.